Hey traders, John Howell here. So today I want to start off with in today's video. Firstly, I want to start off with the war sheet, cheat sheet, the psychology of the markets and what's going on right now. And I'm looking at all the different markets of where we're at right now and what's happening right now. And to me, it looks like I'm just looking at this section through here, and to me, it looks like I'm looking at the gold and silver area through here, and it looks like we're actually at a bit of euphoria. I'm still seeing a lot of bullishness around the gold and silver level through there. Um, and looking at the actual stock market from here and the actual overall stock market, it's a bit of a mixed bag, right? We did get a little bit of a panic, but I'm still seeing a lot of buy the dip mentalities lately. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm trying to look at the psychology of where we are right now. I definitely know we're at the thrill and euphoria out of the gold market. Silver's actually different, right? Silver's a lot different where we are right now. But it's really interesting to see where we are right now in the psychology. So maybe, just maybe, what we're experiencing in the stock market, and we'll get to the charts, maybe we're experiencing complacency. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Where do you think we're at right now? Is the stock market at complacency? Paul Tudor Jones did a video, or he hopped on CNBC recently, and he talked about how he actually sees another new low coming. Then the Fed's going to step in, there's going to be QE, and then we're going to see another big rally to the upside. So just really interesting to see that through there. Also, traders, one thing I want to sort of encourage you to do is, one of the things that's really helped me with my personal trading is taking screenshots, right? So this is the highest probability tradings. This is actually for my private clients. You can apply for that, second link in the description. But I actually have, this here is different levels of trades that I've taken and so on and so forth. Here's different trade examples here, right? This is actually my 2024 trading equity curve. So I had a really good year last year, as you can see. But this is obviously some things through here, and the big thing is I'm always going through, this is different screenshots that I've taken, or screenshots that my private clients have taken. And one of the big things that sort of helps me with my personal trading is confidence, right? Because you want to have confidence in your own personal trading. And before I actually get to the actual stock market, I really want to encourage you this here, that my trading has never really changed, right? The exact same sort of the setups that I'm actually looking for myself. This is obviously what my private clients get. They get this here, right? They also get the actual the private client workbook, which actually walks them through the mindset. It walks them through, step by step, looking at the step 1, step 2. I give them trade examples as well too. But the one thing I really want to share with you here is that the exact same setups that I like to use, and this is obviously my trading rules here. Now, obviously, I go into a lot more detail in my actual workbook here, but this is basically what I'm actually looking for here, breaking it down step by step. And I really want to share with you here that once you find a really good, powerful system, and this is the powerful thing that I like to use with my personal trading, is I don't like to hope that I'm going to have a good year this year. I personally can't handle that, right? I can't handle hoping like, okay, well, I jumped on a really good trade today, but is this going to last? Am I going to find another good trade? And one thing that sort of helped me is, as you can see here, this trade back here, using the exact same rules, this trade back here, as you can see, if I scroll down, this is back in May 2017. This one here was 2017. This is 2017 as well too. This one here was back in 2016. So we're looking at almost 10 years ago now, or just under 10 years ago. And the thing is that the exact same setup, the exact same rules that I used back here 10 years ago on the stock market is the exact same rules that I use let's go through to say here, right? Is the exact same rules that I use today, right? Here's some trade examples that I've looked for. This is obviously on the S&P, the NASDAQ 2-minute charts, looking at the foreign exchange markets as well too. Just looking at all these different markets. Here's some more foreign exchange charts. Here's a stock chart. So the setup and the rules that I use myself, and I really want to encourage you to this, is that once you find a really good trading system, and in my free trading course, first thing in the description there, guys, I teach you all the details to my trading system. The very first video you get is actually all the details to my trading system. And then there's like 8 videos long. There's massive amounts of sort of education in that free course I'm giving you there, guys. I promise you, if you just go through that free course I'm giving you, right, without investing any money with me, I promise you so many light bulb moments will go off for you if you just go through that free course. The big thing I really want to share with you is the confidence that comes from my personal trading is having the exact same rules, right? So the exact same, whether it's a 5-minute chart on gold or foreign exchange or, the exact same rules I was trading 10 years ago is the exact same rules I'm trading today. And that's what gives me a consistency of having good years. Now, some years I make less money than other years, but I really want to start it off with, I want to start this sort of coaching video for you to try to give you an example of trading. For me is about being confident in my trading system and my trading setup, because I want to be able to have something to have a foundation and know that this year and next year and the year after, I'm going to have really, really, really good successful years if I just continue following my trades on my trading setup from there. So that's the thing that I just want to really encourage you guys is that my success in the market is not about being lucky or being smart, right? It's not about knowing what Trump's going to say and all that sort of stuff. Is I hope you can see that my success in my trading has just come off the back of really applying a simple setup, and I've been utilizing that setup now for over 10 years, and that's what's helped me become really good. I've just become really good at understanding that setup and what goes into it and so on and so forth. So looking at the actual market update itself, the actual stock market here, one of the big things I'm looking at with the stock market here is like, is this creating a bit of a rounding top formation? Because if I go down to say this here, I'm noticing here, if you see this is my 24 moving average on my weekly charts, and you'll notice that in big bull market environments, whenever we get the moving average trending strong through here, this is conducive to what? Bullish environments, isn't it? So as we can see, but the moving average, whenever we start to get the moving average doing this, so on and so forth, it's given us a warning sign that maybe something is not quite right here. And so this is obviously the weekly chart. This is big picture here, right? And if I zoom right in, you can see we actually broke, and we even broke this here. We actually broke a lower low. So this was a low through here, and this is a lower low through here. So my sort of thoughts is this one big sort of massive rounding top formation that we're building here out of the stock market. So this is the weekly chart out of the Dow Jones here. Now, the one thing I always like to use is, as you can see, one of my things I like to use in my rules with my personal trading and even understanding the markets is the moving average, because the moving average to me is like momentum, right? Because as you know, right, if the moving average is trending strong through here, as you know, when the moving average is trending strong in any direction, that's called momentum in the markets. And momentum in the markets is where I want to be trading, right? That's where I want to be getting involved with what's happening in the markets there. And so I'd rather be going with momentum. It's going to increase my chances. So I'm looking at that from there, from a 24 moving average on the weekly charts. But if I go to look at this chart here, and this is my daily charts on the Dow Jones, and the same analysis apply, but this is a 52 moving average. I like to use a 52 on my daily charts. If I look at my 52 moving average, look what's happening right now. This is actually quite steep. See my 52, look how strong my 52 moving average right now is coming down. So to me, it's actually, we've had a big rally. We're actually still in a downward trend right now on the stock market. And we can see here we've had a high, a lower high, and a lower high. We've also had the moving average coming down through here. So we may have a little bit more upside to come, but there's actually a real good probability now we're about to see another leg to the downside. Now, Paul Tudor Jones, as I was mentioning before, Paul Tudor Jones was actually saying that he's actually expecting a new low to come into place. And then maybe we see a big rally back up to all-time new highs from there. So, again, we can just see what's going on from there, a big rally. And we're also, if I bring up my sort of box through here, you can see this whole box here, this whole area, this around the 42,000 level, has been a sort of resistance through here. Lots of support through here as well too. So that's a bit of an area there where the market may have find a bit of rejection from there. Now the sort of the line in the sand for me is this. I've got a trend line coming up through here. Okay, and as you can see that this is where we're at. If we do start to come down and start to break this trend line, then if we do start to do that, then we're probably going to start to see this market come down through to here and break it. This momentum to the upside is going to start to falter. This momentum on the downside is probably going to kick it in, and we're probably going to start to see something like that again as well too. So we are getting a really nice strong rally to the upside, but that's what we're seeing through there. If we go look at the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ on the weekly charts here, this is the NASDAQ weekly charts, and as you can see, the NASDAQ weekly chart is really giving us a massive rounding top formation and potentially a massive head and shoulder formation forming. We did have a low and we broke a lower low. We're getting this rally through here, but is the rally that we're experiencing right now, is this the same thing back here? Well, we had a lower low, we rallied back up, and then we had another big move down. See how this is the same thing here, right? It's the same sort of, we rallied back up, the moving average was trending down, we're rallying back up, the moving average is trending down. Are we about to see a rollover and about to see another move like that, creating a massive rounding top formation? Now, if that happens, and we start to see that, then that's the neckline. We could actually, we could really start to see some really, down here is where the projection is. So that actually could be in place right now. So we look at the 52 moving average on this daily charts from here. If I squeeze my charts up to get a really good view of this thing here, and you can see here once again this whole band through here of around this sort of 21,000 level. If I go down to where it is now, the 20,000 level, the 20,500 level on the NASDAQ 100. That's where we're still definitely getting a lot of resistance through there. And also, you can see once again, we're getting the moving average coming straight down. And if I like to look at the angle of the moving average, look how strong we're coming down through here. So we could be getting ready for another drop in the downside because there's so much momentum on the downside. And the last few times we've had this strong moving average coming down, you can see what was happening through here. So momentum has completely shifted. We're not even flattening out. A lot of the times you can get a move up and then we get like a bit of a sort of a flattening of the moving average and then we continue up. We're not even getting that. We're getting a momentum really coming down strong out of the NASDAQ 100 from there. Moving on now through to the S&P 500. And again, the same situation we're getting right now across all indices. And this is where it's like, are we creating some sort of massive rounding top formation, a big head and shoulder, head, and now this is creating a bit of a shoulder. If we hold here for a bit and then start to head down, the line in the sand for me, well, there's actually a lot of warning signs now, but the line in the sand would be this line through here. If I bring this up through to there, that'll be the line in the sand, right? Because this is where we've actually had a lot of movement to the upside, this sort of rally to the upside. But if we start to get below here, so if we start to break and we start to break below this level through here, which also, as you can see, is that level all through there. So if we start to really break this last support level through here and we start to break to the downside, then we could start to see this we could probably start to see the S&P 500 start to actually have a nice move on the downside from here. So we can see that that's what's going on. Again, just really strong. This could be a really big sort of rounding top formation from there. If we go look at some of the big markets that I'm really focused on, say for example, we're looking at the USO. The USO is still continue to be in this sort of stuck triangle pattern here. If we go have a look at, say for example, we go look at the oil market, and the oil market, just looking at oil from here on this chart, we're getting a lot of, this is obviously connected to the USO, so this is the actual oil itself. And one of the most important things I've been focusing on is oil and energy is probably going to get hit. And so I've been talking about oil and energy getting hit through here, and that's exactly what's been happening now. We still continue to get hit. We had a bit of a rally and then a big drop to the downside, a bit of a rally and a big drop to the downside. Oil to me is about to get crushed. And if I zoom my charts right out, as you can see, we are now developing, there's a few different levels. There's a thing called false breakouts, and then there's a thing called a confirmed breakout. A false breakout is where you have support. So this is a support line. Support. We break to the support line, we hold, and then we break back up. That's a false breakout pattern. A true breakout pattern is this. A true breakout pattern is when we hold the support, we come down, support, 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 support. We have a break to the downside. We come up to the upside. We don't get back above, and then we start to roll back over again. This is now rejected at that level, and now we're heading down. See what's happening here on the oil market, and we're high, lower high, and so we're getting the lower highs breaking down out of oil. And on top of that, remember I said before about my moving averages? I have 3 moving averages on here. And this is now giving me confirmed of 3 types of momentum that's happening right now. Not only are we getting the highs, and lower highs, but we're also getting my 52s strong on the downside. So we get a bit more of a longer term momentum, a bit more of a shorter term, my 24 moving average through here. This is a 24 on the daily charts, strong on the downside. And this is my shorter term moving average, which I use for a trailing stop loss. This shorter term moving average is what? Trending down. So we have 3 momentum indicators, short term, medium term, and long term, all trending down, as well as getting high, lower high, lower high. So to me, as soon as oil starts to break this level from here, guys, I think we're about to see a bit of waterworks. I think this is about to turn into a bit of a waterfall in the markets, and we're about to see this thing holding here. We're holding here right now, but it looks like, just by looking at back in the past, and I'm squeezing my charts right up here, it looks like that if we go and clone this, then it looks like oil could be heading back down towards the 42 level at least. So that could be, again, this is for a trading opportunity for me, and looking at options or maybe on the USO. Man, that could be quite a nice move. Now that doesn't look like much, right? We're at 57 here. If we break, then that's the next support level from there, right? We could be getting ready for, again, 42 is that target there, and that could be a 30% drop. Now that's that level from there, from what we're seeing through there. If we go look at the USO market, and I bring on all my indicators, all my moving averages, now this is USO, which is obviously connected to oil. The first thing I do see is that support and resistance over there. That's only one level from there. It's more like, as you can see, it's more like this. See what's through here? So it was more like as you can see, it was more like a squeezing up pattern, right? Squeezing up, but we broke to the downside, and now we're developing this level 3. Yes, we do actually have that resistance through there, and yes, we are definitely still stuck in this whole area all through here as well too. On the USO market. So the same for the USO market. If the USO market starts to break, this is the weekly chart here. Man, if we break this level from here, then it looks like we could be getting ready for a really, really, really big drop. And we could actually start to make our way back down to 20 from here. Just looking at this level from here. Yeah, so if we break, we could be getting ready for at least a 50% drop out of the USO market. And again, this is the reason why I personally, guys, been really honing down, because I'm always looking for the pockets of opportunities in the markets. Doesn't matter whether it's gold, silver, mining stocks, commodities, sugar, cane, soybeans, Bitcoin, individual stocks. And so right now, the thing I've been really focusing on big time has been the USO and the energy, because these have the setups of actually making really big moves. So I'm really honing in on that big time to get ready for a really amazing trade from that perspective there. But as you can see, same from the USO market, we're getting 3 moving averages, 52 coming down really strongly. We're getting the 24 moving average coming down strongly, and now even for the last week, the 9 moving average. So we've got a lot of momentum, and the same thing for and we're getting the same thing for what's happening on the oil market. Is we're getting a high, we're getting a lower high, and now we're getting another lower high from here. And also, interesting thing is, as you can see, if I take this off the screen, notice how, see that whole level in the past? Right, so in the past, see how if I break that just a lot thicker, this hole was see how that was a major level of support, right? Support, all this support level in the past. So in the past, say, what's that, 1 year? Is that 1 year? Yeah. So what, past 1 year, we've had that through there. If we take you off the screen, now look what's happening. So remember I said before about a breakout, right? So this is what? This is now a true breakout, right? It's not a false breakout. Some people were thinking that when the oil market drops, it's dropping, but we're going to head back up to 100. And we have to let the market tell us that, right? So a true breakout is what we're experiencing now. A true breakout is what? Is when we break down, we come back up, we hold. Because if this is a false breakout, we would start to get this move through here, and we start to get a move back up through here, which we're not getting right now. Right, we're not getting. We're actually getting this movement on the downside in this last 1 year, especially. We can see that this holding through here. So once we do start to make our way down and we actually really start to break, that's the shorter term level there. If we start to break this level from here, guys, it's probably going to be one of the greatest trading opportunities I've seen so far this year. I'm just waiting for confirmation for me to get involved with this here level from here. So that's the USO market there. And the same thing I'm watching for the USO, which is the oil, and also XLE, which is the energy sector, which is setting up something similar as well too. We're getting on the two levels here is firstly, we're getting a breakout of this whole, which has been just that level through there, as you can see, just sideways. We're getting a breakdown. We've had a big rally up, and now we're getting what? Now we're getting this whole major level of resistance. See that level of resistance through there? Major resistance, and now we're starting to roll over. So once again, if this is going to be a false breakout, we would actually get back above 140 and would start to make a run back up towards that 94 level. So far, we're not getting that, right? So far, we're actually rejecting this major support is becoming resistance. And so far, we're just holding through here. We're holding. So if we start to get some sort of breakdown bar from here, if we start to get a breakdown from here and we get something like that going on, then once we get something like that going on, that is going to be a break of a major level. This major level here, by the way, guys, that level through there, if I go to my weekly charts, this is my weekly chart. That's that level all through there, as you can see, right? This whole blue line through that 75 level is a major level of support in the past. And this is why, once again, I've been really focusing on USO and oil, because I like to try to find opportunities where I'm getting in at the start of a potential big move. When the market's been already in a very big bull market for a few years, and we see this time and time and time again, right? The worst thing that I see people doing is that they wait for a big move and then they start to get involved with it. They wait for a big move, then they start to get involved with it. For me, I'm always trying to get in at the start of that move. And again, for me, we're seeing what's happening here on the energy sector. And I'm telling you right now, guys, the energy sector could be quite amazing. And again, I'm really honing on this one. There could be some really amazing trading opportunities that once it starts, it could really start to move pretty quickly. And again, utilizing things like options that I like to trade. Wow. You know, we're talking some pretty significant moves. You know, the last time I had a trade like this and it confirmed that I got an entry signal, it made 400% return. It made 400% return in about 6 weeks time frame. So again, if that's the same thing and you do a $20,000 investment with that, what are you looking at? An $80,000 profit just in one trade. And that's where, like, again, guys, if you need help with this sort of stuff, apply for my coaching, second link in the description there, and I'll help you out with identification of these potential big moves, because that's how you make a really big profit throughout the year, right? So that's what I'm seeing through there when it comes down to that. If I look at actual gold on the short-term level basis, gold is really still powering up, right? Really still powering up. We're still in a very nice upward trend. Overall, I see gold getting towards the end of this move. I just don't know how the end of this move is going to be. Is it going to be a lower high here and then we roll over? Is it going to be another move to the upside and then we roll over? But we are definitely getting towards the end of this move at a gold. And once again, we can just see this from perspective of where we're at right now. From a perspective of, we can see high, low. And we are definitely we're definitely very over here right now. We're definitely very, very, very overbought right now. And as you can see in the past, every time we've had a very nice move and we've gotten too far away from the moving average, like we are right now, these are weekly bars, by the way, we tend to sort of pause. So it may pause here for a bit and then start to come down from there. But on a short-term level basis, everything's looking really strong still. If I take everything off the screen here, we're still getting the moving average trending up nicely. You can see it came down to my 52, strong up, got my 24, strong up as well too. So it just depends what happens through here. If we pause here though, and hold, this could be the significant move out of the actual market. You can see what actually happened here today. It rallied up, came down, and closed sort of lower. So what you want to see is if this thing starts to fail here, and we're going down from here. Let me bring up this chart now from this level here. Actually, I'll go to this chart here. Yeah, if we start to fail, so I'm looking at levels of market here. If we start to fail from here and we start to break below here, we're probably going to head down to here. And if that happens, we're probably going to start to see a stair-stepping fact down to at least that 2,900 level from there, which is... If I look at my moving average on, you can see we tend to come back to the moving average, right? We just see this time and time again. Too far away, pull back, too far away, pull back, too far away. We're going to get a pullback towards the moving average soon, just like we have every single other time. So this time is not different. So we can see too far away. So yeah, it looks like that 2,900 level from there. And if I bring on my trend lines, look like that's 2,900 is probably going to be the area where we may get a pullback towards on the gold market from there. If we look at silver, and silver's actually holding through here. The danger of silver right now is we're not in an upward trend. We're not in a downward trend. All my moving averages are flat. So that's actually pretty dangerous. Therefore, we can see we actually have this level through here, right? So if we see that level through there, let me actually just bring up this chart here so there's not much on the screen. And we can see this level through here. If we hold here, we could be developing some sort of a shorter term downward trend from here. This is actually now connecting the highs. We actually rejected here a few times, and now we're coming through here. We are rallying up, and now we're holding through here. If we do start to see silver come back down through to here, then silver could be getting ready for another big drop down to here, which is another, a 7 to possibly even a 10% drop down towards these levels here. So if we continue to roll over here, and you can see we're starting to get a very sort of weakness out of this, it's the hourly chart from there. If we go down to the 4-hour chart from here as well too, we can see there's actually a lot of weakness here. So the really big key for me is, let me bring on the short-term analysis from here. Even looking at so the last, say, 6 to 12 months. Actually, even look at the last 3 months, last 6 months. Yeah, once again, we start to break that level there. Then this looks like a bit of a bull flag right now, but we're actually failing here, right? We try to come up through here, and now we're failing through here. So if we do start to break below this level, we're probably going to see a movement on the downside from there as well too. So let's go look at the mining sector itself as well too. And looking at the mining sector, let's actually bring on the last 6 months worth of data. High, low, and now we're developing this here. So whenever we go through these, what's called an energy building phase, guys, the risk of trading the energy building phase, which means energy using, we're moving in a direction, and then we have a pullback, energy building, energy using, energy building, energy using, energy building. Sometimes these energy building phases through here can be quite volatile in the markets, and when they're volatile in the markets, when the energy building phase is actually quite volatile in the markets, the energy building phase can be quite volatile. This is where you can get chewed up. It's doing this, and then we break out, and then we end up going for a nice move, to the upside. And last but not least, guys, for you guys today is I'm always been focused. The focus I've been looking at with actual Bitcoin right now has been this weekly charts. And the reasons why is you can see here, I'm looking at trend analysis and I'm looking at my 24 moving average. Remember I said before about 24 moving average really gives you a bit of an indication, right? If the moving average, just like the indices right now, starts to roll over and we start to get a head down from here, then that's actually more like a bearish tone. But look what's been happening with firstly, we're looking at the significant moves, low, higher low, and a higher low. The moving average is trending up very, very nicely from here. So we're still getting a very nice higher low upward trend, and the moving average is still trending up. And so this is the big thing. Even though we had a bit of a drop through here, and this is one thing I really want to encourage you guys to do, is always look at, if you trade the daily charts or any charts, keep an eye on this weekly chart, because even though we get a bit of a drop, if this is still higher lows all the way up and the moving average is still trending up, there's a real good probability that this is just going to be a short-term little drop. Now, short-term, this is a weekly chart, so that means over the course of a month, little bit of a drop, and there's a good chance we're going to start to make our way back up again, because all this is just creating the waves, right? It's a beautiful wave up, then a wave down, wave up, wave down, and now we're starting to see our nice wave back up again.